confident, really confident. So this is double Jupiter energy. The week of April 28th, 2025, and the following 7 days. Welcome. This is G. You're watching Allastrology. We are going to talk about Venus and Neptune, Pluto and Mars, Jupiter. We're going to talk about Uranus, whatever your pleasure. We're going to talk about Pisces energy. We've got Saturn in the North Node and Sirius. We got a lot going on here. So we're picking up where we left off last week. We talked about the opposition that was happening between Pluto and Mars opposition. And, Pluto's not alone. Technically, this, you see that letter A right there? Does anybody know what that is? It rules science, technology, uniqueness. It's kind of like almost a female version of Uranus. It's kind of like a female version of that. Does anybody know the name? Urania. So Urania is the daughter of Zeus. She is one of the 9 muses. She was the goddess of music, song, and dance, as well as astronomy and astrology. There is a desire for precision. An urge to study a subject thoroughly. Its focus is serious. It wants deeper issues, the important things in life. It's interested in theory and knowledge for knowledge's sake. It is able to extract principles after assembling the evidence. Able to extract the principles after assembling the evidence. Now, this sounds like for us in the States, we need this. Like we need more Urania in our lives. We've already got Uranus, right? Uranus, whatever. We need more Urania because Urania is precision. So it's not going to be knowledge just for, being the first one to come out and be like, oh, I got it. This is what it is. It's saying, no, go deeper, pay attention, understand what's being said, to thoroughly understand it, to thoroughly learn it, and then to actually be able to execute, to demonstrate that knowledge, right? So Urania, to me, definitely is like one of the co-rulers of Aquarius energy, astrology and astronomy. She's sitting there at 9. Her and Pluto, technically a Pluto conjunction has to be like the matching degree, closer by the minutes, truly. But the fact that at the opposition, we have Mars, who moves a lot quicker than Pluto and who's climbing in numbers. Mars will be, and still is actually at this moment, at this 4 degrees, Mars is in an opposition still to Pluto and Urania, especially since Mars is holding hands with the can of worms. Pandora's box, the can of worms. So Leo energy, fun, children, joy, romance. Here in the States, I'm sure other places, but here we've got the measles outbreak now. I don't know if people are hearing about it. There's a couple of channels that I watch that will give me news that is definitely not being reported upon. But the measles is all over the United States now. It's feeling like a kid again, laughter. Like that's Leo energy. Mars can inflame things because that's what Mars does. It can leave scars and wounds, cuts, That's Mars energy. And then Pandora's box, 3 degrees, local community, communication, my mind, my neighborhood, sales, talking, sharing, right? That's 3 degrees in general, business, finance, 3 degrees, the markets, trade. Mars is physical bodies, 4 degrees is the public. It's an interesting combination for some of the things that are going on in the country, for sure. And that's in opposition to Pluto and Urania. So Urania would be science and medicine, and then, testing, experimentation, and that's, strong vaccine energy. And this isn't a video about anti-vax or pro-vax, because I'm pretty much anti-drugs in general. But I am pro-Aquarian energy. You follow? I am pro-Aquarian energy. I am about science. I am about progress. I am about sometimes you got to do something that's unconventional. And until the day comes that humanity learns how to take care of themselves in a healthy way, unfortunately, the vaccines seem to be the way to prevent something from going from an outbreak to a pandemic. I almost said epidemic to a pandemic. So the science and the futuristic sort of energy of the unknown, because that's Aquarius. It's the unknown. People are always freaking out. It's the unknown. Venus being at the 29 degrees and going into 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees of Aries. It's on the 28th/29th, depending upon where you live. Venus in Aries conjunct Neptune. Neptune's at 1, right? So there it goes. Venus in Aries at 0, conjunct Neptune, money and values, because we're talking about Venus. It's also my desires. And Venus in Aries has a desire for freedom and independence. She becomes freedom-loving Venus. She wants to go at her own. She's easily angered, short on her patience, feisty, and she's ready to take action. Remember, Venus is feminine energy. It kind of gets a little mixture of masculine and feminine energy, though, when it enters Aries, doesn't it? And so what is Neptune going to be? Neptune, when we look at Neptune energy, we think of institutional energy, because Neptune rules Pisces, right? It's big. It's global. We know it's water. It's music. It's sound. It's ethereal. It's not material and tangible. It's a depth in intuition and knowings. So with Venus being there, they're working together. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, so these two work well together. So as far as Venus being all fired up and angry, well, Neptune is about rest and sleep and peace and vacation and prayer, music, sound, kumbaya, fantasy. I want to watch the movies. I want to read a book. Calgon, take me away. But it's in Aries. So what will this look like? Neptune can be surrender, right? Venus always wants peace, and so does Neptune. They both want peace. So there can be a small window of opportunity for peace talks. There can be. And this would be, we've got tariff wars. We've got, physical weaponry kind of wars going on. We've got the online wars going on, which create this psychological warfare via the internet and social media, where Americans are ready to kill each other, not realizing they're screaming at a bot who's pretending to be either blue or red. And so the Neptune fog and confusion and illusions and delusions tells us on a small scale that for this small window of time, this is a good time to chill. If we want to take actions, if we want solo activity, then go ahead and do it. But it might just be, I really do need some alone time where I can spend in nature, Venus and Neptune, nature, in the water, because it's Venus, it's what I desire, what I want to get involved in, what is important to me, what I need, what I value right now. Okay. So that runs from the 28th of April to May 3rd, where they're holding that tight conjunction in Aries energy. Now, there's a part of me here that also is hopeful that with Neptune, when Neptune first came into Aries, this will be physical bodies, because it's Aries energy, who are recognizing the unity and working as one, because that's Neptune, unity and operating as one, finally realize, especially for people here where I'm at in the States, where we'll finally come together and realize that we're fighting each other and we shouldn't be. We should be fighting over the people that oppress us and that rule over us, and that there's more of us than there are of them. Yeah. Well, that's May. That's May 1st, right? That is May 1st when Mars clears its retrograde zone. Okay. So the Mars energy and the fight sort of energy, the get up and go and very athletic, very agile, very quick. Think Leo, very courageous and brave energy, Mars in Leo. So 6 degrees, and then we got to look at the squares because we got squares. Look closely. It's a fixed energy. The whole week, Mars is Mars sits between 4, 5, and 6 degrees. But because it's conjunct that Pandora's box, it's squaring Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, shared values and money, the shadow side, vulnerabilities and wounds. Black Moon Lilith usually can throw a monkey wrench into things. She can be wicked. This is insurance money, Scorpio energy, insurance money. That's a difficult, stressful, fixed square, but it's a great square in this chart because you look at Taurus energy here, and at the low degree, it looks like it's vertex there. It is vertex, but that's not all. We've got somebody hiding behind vertex who moves slower than vertex. Vertex is a point of fate in the chart, and so this is for Monday, a point of fate in the chart with that strong T-square, very strong T-square, with the vertex of money and banking and values, food, creature comforts. It's Taurus, right? Agriculture, the earth. It's that big T-square, Pandora's box, Black Moon Lilith, and Mars. That is the very beginning of the week. But the square, I've got it in black. It stays all week long. It's a giant T-square that stays with us all week long. So Taurus energy, once vertex moves, we got Isis there. And Isis can be like a rebirth type of energy. Isis is, when you read her story, she brought her husband back to life. Her husband was killed and she brought him back to life. Taurus energy is the values. Confident. Really confident. So this is double Jupiter energy this week. Well, it's actually going to be longer than just this week. Jupiter's going to stay at 21 for a while. It gets there on the 29th. Okay? Heads up that Jupiter energy then does start to, it's always a square. It's always a stress and tension because it's Jupiter, but some people say there's no such thing as a bad square from Jupiter. Just depends on who you are in your personal chart. But the Jupiter becomes double Jupiter energy, super powerful. And so it's stress and tension to Virgo and Pisces. Okay? And so that's at 21 degrees, 21, 22, 23, depending upon what you got on your chart. All right? Sirius and the North Node are together, 24 and 26. North Node's going backwards. So a T-square. That means Jupiter, starting this week, is in a strong T-square with the North and the South Node. From 4/28 to May 5th, we have Venus and Neptune conjunct. Okay? So your money and your values. Be careful in terms of being impulsive, especially if you're looking to spend money or make any major purchases, because Venus is under the Neptune effect. And Aries energy, even though it's going to be a little bit more tame than usual, because it's under the Neptune effect. So it'll be a little bit slower and sluggish, but it will also quite possibly be, the illusions and delusions. It might be hard to understand the realities of things. Okay. Um, so with the Venus there and the concerns about spending, you want to just wait this out. You want to wait this out. It's not going to last forever. Venus will clear Neptune by May 3rd. And that is a better time. Even though Mercury is I'm impulsive and it's in Aries, I'm impatient, I'm feisty, I'm fiery. I don't want to just think about it. I want to take action. Aries energy with the Mercury there will still be, I don't want to say trigger happy, but what is it when you grab your wallet really fast or you press the buy button really fast, right? So we would probably want to just give ourselves some time, put it in a basket, don't make the purchase right away, just slow down. There is strong support for partnerships because we have a mystic rectangle. It's Juno, it's partnerships, it's retrograding. It is business. It is talking, negotiating, and writing. You see that with our shared values? The problem is that even if the current administration is like, okay, I know that we said this, but we're not really going to do that. Let's be nice together. Let's sit down and have a conversation. You don't do that. You don't do that. I don't think the other countries are going to be that silly. And because it would be being that silly. That's like the bully in the neighborhood who always pins you down and beats you up and takes your candy and then says, well, come on over here. And you're across the street and you're like, oh, hell no, I'm not going over there. And they're like, come on, I got something for you. Oh, hell no, I'm not going over there. And then they pull out like this brand new, I don't know, some whatever cool thing a kid would find awesome. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. I was going to say a yo-yo. Do kids even know what the hell that is? Anyway, so I don't think other countries are going to fall for it. You just don't. You don't, because you come to the realization that you're someone's punching bag. You're a form of entertainment for them. It's a goddamn show that you're part of. Anyway, it's whiplash, and you don't need to be a part of it. But 26 in the South Node, more releases and let goes, but it has to do with money this time because it's the money degree. We talked about this a lot in last week's chart, so I'm not going to go real deep on this, but I just wanted you to see how this is still very strong this week, and Elgo and Uranus. I mentioned this real quick last week, so here we are. They're at 2612 for Uranus energy, and Elgo's at 2630. They're exact this week. But again, this began last week. Disruptions, likely with tech. Money can be involved. We think of different softwares. We think of security. So shocks and surprises. Okay, 26, my money in the bank. This could definitely be digital assets for sure. This can be a thing with digital assets. Hopefully, it's just a glitch, right? And then Hygeia is at 22. And so the Hygeia at 22, that's Saturn energy. This is boss energy. This is the rules, the regulations, long-term goals, my long-term financial security, my duty, my work, my responsibility, right? It's all conjunct here. And that's all part of this mystic rectangle with the North Node in Pisces and Sirius. Where are we getting our wheat from? Where are we getting our lithium from? Where are we getting, I don't know, our chips? Where are we getting all the devices we need to be this great? Where are we getting our, there's a lot of different things, lots of different things. Normally, Sirius is food, right? Where are we getting our vegetables from? Not from Mexico anymore, right? Mexico's like, that's okay, United States, you don't need our food. We can take it and trade with somebody else. And they're absolutely right. I would do the same damn thing. So we'll see how this works out. But again, Pisces energy is absolutely a lot about what's going on over there. Foreign lands, foreign languages, foreign countries, foreigners, immigration. All right. So I hope this makes sense. I know it was kind of all over the place, but at the end of the day, this is the life we're living. Shit's all over the place. So we're just in a constant state of being flexible. I mean, truly, what else can you do? Be flexible, be open-minded, and understand the shit can change at any minute. And you got to be ready to pivot. And that's about it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. You got questions, comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.